always the same, and Father Sean O'Fearna knew them all. But he did not know the man in the rumpled tweed suit who knelt at the rail on one knee, as though expecting a bolt of lightning to strike him for advancing too close to the Catholic tabernacle. A Protestant for sure, thought O'Fearna, and an agent of the crown as well. The priest turned back to the screen. He could see blue eyes and wide black pupils watching him in the same way that he watched his penitents when he thought they weren't telling him the truth. "I expected they'd send one of their best when the time came." "They have, Father." "How is it, then, that the one they sent didn't know the Brits were on his tail until he led them into my church?" "Haven't you heard, Father? The best of Ireland's best left for America when the potatoes went bad. I'm the best that Ireland's got left. If you're going to help, you'll have to put up with my failings, which also include a weakness for women and strong drink." The priest saw the smile curling on the other side of the screen. He liked the man who could joke at his own blunder. It was a sign of cool courage, or the mark of a dangerous fool. "Do you have a name?" asked the priest. "Padraic Starr, but my passport says O'Mahony." "And do you have people in Boston, family who will put you up, now that the house of God is no longer safe refuge?" "Cousins by the name Tracy." The priest leaned close. "Tom Tracy, the mayor's boy?" "I wouldn't know about that. All I know is that they live on a street called Gloucester Place, about 3 blocks away, in Cathedral Parish. Go there, and I'll contact you tomorrow." "That still don't solve the problem at hand, Father, unless this confessional has a trapdoor, and you're after dropping me into the cellar." "The trapdoor here leads to a much hotter place than the cellar, my son." The penitent laughed softly. Once more, Sean O'Fearna looked through the small window in the confessional door, and his eyes fell upon the choir boy. An idea began to form. He turned back to Starr. "Would you like absolution?" "Will that get me out of here?" "No, but at least you'll be ready if the Brits catch you and hang you." "That won't be happening, Father." The priest studied the eyes, steady and unblinking, that studied him through the little holes in the screen. Whoever this Padraic Starr was, he was one to be reckoned with. "I don't believe it will. Now then, how much time do we have?" "I've promised a ship loaded with guns and ammunition 6 weeks from now in the Bay of Dunsley." "Holy Week?" "That it is." "We've not much time, then." "Indeed not, Father. So let's not be wasting any more of it in this tight spot. If you've got some ideas, I'd like to be hearing them. Otherwise, I'll be about the business at hand." "The business at hand," whispered the priest firmly, "is absolution. Even if you want none, I suggest you go to the altar rail and say a few Our Fathers and a few Hail Marys. It'll do you good. Then cross the altar and leave by the sacristy door when you hear a boy singing." "Singing?" "Just do as I say, and don't forget to genuflect before the tabernacle." Sean O'Fearna closed the wooden shutter and heard the rebel step from the confessional. Then the shadow slipped past his window, and he peered out. What he saw gave him confidence, for a 6-footer with brawny shoulders might joke about a blunder and be able to back up the joke. Padraic Starr wore brown corduroy trousers, heavy hobnail boots, a white turtleneck sweater of Donegal wool, and for all his size, he moved with the loping grace of a Wexford thoroughbred. He carried in one hand a duffel bag, and in the other a tweed scally cap of the sort that most Irishmen wore, whether they lived in Boston or Ballyshannon. But this rebel did not seem concerned about concealing his Irish identity. Instead, he went straight to the altar rail and knelt just a few feet from the man in the tweed suit. A bold one, thought the priest. One worth helping. Jimmy Duggan stepped into the booth. The priest pushed the slider and heard a nervous little cough. "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been a week since my last confession, and I've done the usual, Father, 6 times."